out there. Good morning.
Yes.
Listen for me, please. Holy friend, guide our speaking and hearing today. Bless us with understanding, hope, and grace, and increase our faith. Amen. Well, given the sad state of baseball in Chicago this year, you might be surprised that I'm actually using a baseball movie. It fits, indeed. Indeed. Yeah, so Field of Dreams. It's one of my favorite movies of all time, not just because it involves baseball, writing, and James Earl Jones, not to mention Kevin Costner and Timothy Busfield, two other really good actors. But you remember the plot, right? Ray, who played by Kevin Costner, hears a voice telling him to build a baseball field in his cornfield in Iowa. He hears this voice, if you build it, they will come. And he's a huge baseball fan, and he's been trying to teach his daughter about that, and she's become a big fan. And while he's not sure who they are, the they that will come, he goes ahead and he builds it. He creates a Major League Baseball field in his cornfield. His family thinks he's lost his mind, especially since he's facing bankruptcy. That's what his brother was saying just there. He even goes to Boston. That's again what that's about. Goes to Boston to bring back Terrence, played by James Earl Jones, who's a sports writer and former baseball player. And the they who will come, as you will recall, turns out to be ball players of the past, the greats of the past, emerging from the corn to play the game they loved so much. And then people come from all over to watch them. Those are also the ones who will come. Now, there's a lot of subplots that go on with past and present mingling and changing each other and so on. But that scene, I think, is the heart of the movie. Terrence is invited into the corn to join those timeless ball players. But Ray isn't. And Ray is upset. He built the field. He brought Terrence here. It's his land, his corn. But he's not invited. Ray thinks he's owed something for his faith and trust in the mysterious voice. He's worked hard and sacrificed and faces the potential loss of his farm over the field, but he's not permitted to join the players to fulfill his dearest dream. So Terrence asks him the key question. Is that why you did it, Ray? And the answer is no. Ray didn't create the field so that he could meet the famous players and relive his youth and fulfill a dream. He built it because he wanted to give the players a ball field so that his daughters could see that faith has a place in our lives, because he had faith that it needed to be built for a greater good. He didn't do it for himself. And this is what ties the two sections of our readings together. It sounds sort of disjointed on that first reading. When I first read it for this week, I thought, whoa, wait a minute. Should I just drop part of this reading? I can't get it to make sense with each other. But the more I thought about it and prayed over it, what does faith have to do with the servant doing their job? But the thing is that they are related. See, the disciples are asking for more faith so they can do the things that they see Jesus doing. Healing people, preaching truth and hope and love, even raising people from the dead. But Jesus is warning them in a sort of sideways manner that faith is not our reward. Faith is not about our reward for believing. That it's not a quid pro quo, to quote a common phrase these days. The servant is doing their job when they come in and cook a meal after working in the field all day. Now, it may sound harsh to us. I mean, That's not what we want to hear. It's certainly not what we want to do, but we can't be too literal here, okay? Jesus is trying to make a point to his disciples. We do what we do because we have faith, not because we expect a reward or recognition or thanks. Because we have faith. That's why we serve others, why we praise God, why we join in community to make this world a little better. That's why we create ball fields in the midst of cornfields, to speak metaphorically, or do other things that are equally inexplicable to other people. We shelter people who are unhoused. We share food with people who are having trouble making ends meet. We reach out to people who are isolated in prison, in the hospital, and at home. We don't do it because they'll thank us or give us an award. We don't do it to hear their appreciation. We do these things because we have faith. It's nice to be recognized, to get a certificate for our wall, a bonus in our paycheck, a mention in the newspaper. But if that's why we're doing what we do, then we're doing it for the wrong reasons. We do it because we have faith in what we are doing, in the value and need for it. It's our job. We may not be invited into the corn, but we are asked to build a field. And what trust that shows, that we are willing and able to do as we are asked to do, that we will step out in faith alone. It takes courage as well as faith, but it's what we're called to do. So build that baseball diamond in the cornfield. Speak up for justice. March for peace. Give what you can to those who do not have enough. Visit the lonely and abandoned. These are the tasks of faith, with no reward expected. It's what we are supposed to do. Step out in faith, my friends, even when it doesn't seem fair, even when you're tired, even when you can't see where that path of faith is leading you. This is what we do. This is our work, the divine work of faith, in all of God's names. Amen.
Amen.
Amen.